thinks that I should be showing. Sometimes I get in my head. Sometimes I know this was for the best. What's going on?
Okay, we're on.
All right. Pretty sure this is episode 14, which is a bit embarrassing because I wanted to, post consistently. So now we had one last week and now we're doing one this week. Once a week isn't bad though, but
Yeah, no, once a week, that's consistency. But I'm gonna criticize your podcast in one way. I think you should, especially when you have like a 5-minute snippet or something, right?
yeah.
You should be posting those, like even if you're
On
not
Spotify or like on TikTok?
yeah, on Spotify, like
Instagram?
just like you know how like episode 1 and 2 are both like 5 minutes and stuff.
Yeah.
You should post them. Like you should post 5-minute clips here and there whenever you get the inspiration and stuff, right? Or like about,
Oh, okay.
building. Continue building the identity of the podcast and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like I think there's multi-angle. Like you could do the interview portion. You also do like when you're like by yourself and you're like in the zone and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And just record those out too, and then post whatever parts of it you like and stuff.
I never thought about doing that. Every time I thought about making an episode, I have to like lock in and like make an episode that's like however long. I never thought of just when I have something that comes to my head, just saying it real quick and then posting it. I never thought of that. So yeah.
Yeah,
maybe I might
that could
start
be
doing
on the. That could be like on brand and stuff too, because like I feel like
that is me though.
yeah, I was gonna say like when
That
the
is
inspiration hits, it hits. So you just gotta chase it.
All
What-
right.
Okay.
So this episode, we have no idea what we're gonna talk about, I guess. But
Yeah.
me and you can make up something on the fly though. So
Yeah.
how was this week for you?
Oh, this week.
Things that stood out.
This week was a roller coaster. Like the weather, today was like 18 degrees and stuff. So it's like, I don't know, some of that the winter blues and stuff, right? Some of that like faded, but like last week was definitely, it had like a lot of ups and downs and stuff. Just I was here. I was just
Yeah.
locked in, but that's what happens. Like we talked about this last week too, but like I think I might have mentioned a little bit, but like if you're spending a lot of time by yourself, you got to make sure you think healthy, or else like you can your pathways can become really dark and you can like you don't even realize it. Like I could give an example.
Go.
Yeah, like even getting food or something, like day 1 is fine, but when I'm like day 4, day 5, and I'm gonna be honest, they're not like normal days. Like I'll still get myself to the gym and stuff, but when it comes to like grabbing food and stuff, it's like I don't want to go outside and stuff, so like I'll just run out literally 2 minutes. Like
Yeah.
so I don't even have social anxiety or anything anymore.
Yeah.
But like those minutes, it's so hard to like push myself to like just fucking go do the bare minimum.
Bro,
sometimes.
the smallest things take the maximum effort.
Yeah, you just don't realize that you do them like every day sometimes.
That's really what be getting me upset, because it's like you could do it,
Yeah.
but you're mad that it's so much work to do it. It's like
why did it take me 40 minutes, to be like, bro, I'm hungry.
yeah,
what the fuck
no,
am I
trust
gonna
me,
go
no, like that's real right there, bro.
eat? Yeah.
But for this past week, one thing that's really been on my mind is how do you, or is it even possible to maintain your optimal self? Like, you've done so much work becoming this person that you want to be, and then you'll wake up one day and think you're just not anything.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. That's imposter syndrome. I guess you deal with it. I deal with it. Like, I had the thoughts last week where I'm like, yo, I'm quitting. Like, I'm done. Raps. I want to go fucking just go do something where I'm just like, I don't have to try,
all of this, bro. Like, yo.
Yeah, no, that's, bro, when we talk about the resistance and stuff, and when you say, like, can you be your optimal self? No. Like, what survives is your optimal self, Like, when you, it's up and down. You're gonna bleed through it in different ways. Everything you hold on to and everything you keep gaining, that's your optimal self. But we've also talked about like this type of thinking and this type, like it's a, at the end of the day, when you think a type of way, it's a lifestyle, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what this lifestyle would be akin to, like even like culturally or anything, right? But when you like buy into this lifestyle, I mean, it comes with its own ups and downs. It's its own like genre of thought, you know? What do you think?
Man, I think what you said is correct. I remember someone was telling me, like, whatever state you're in, that should never be an excuse to never give 100%. Like, you shouldn't wait for you to be like your peak, your best, in order to be your best. Like, if you feel like garbage, still give 100%. If you feel great, that's a bonus. You shouldn't like wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, your optimal self is your weakest self. Because if you can perform on your weakest self, then it doesn't matter what state you're in, you're always going to do your best.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it actually should, you have to change your mindset. Easier said than done. That.
Yeah, it's so like how you're saying, like I wake up and I'm like you have those doubts and everything, right? That's the weight. That's where you're talking about. That's where your optimal self lives. Because like, no matter how you feel, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know. Things
There's like a certain like phrase or like terminology in the Bible that's kind of like, God is in your weakness, because we like to rely on our own strength. That's why we want to feel so good, so we could do it ourselves. But when you feel weak and you know you can't do it yourself, you have to rely on, like, you have to rely on God. You know what I'm saying? But that's also strength. That's where your real strength comes through, because when you rely on a greater faith, then you can perform way better than you ever could by yourself in your pride.
And to make it like even more powerful, it's like you're always gonna pressure yourself if you rely on response. Like, you have to do things without expectations. You just got to do them for the sake of doing it, because like that's what I want to do at that time, or that's what you want to do at that time, like whoever it is, you know. It's like you got to do things because you want to do them. It's not because it should never be for an expectation or a result. You got to, obviously you got to have the goals, and you got to be on point with that. But like when we're talking about like showing up at your weakest days and stuff, like maybe those days, like give yourself the liberty of being like, yo, I'm doing this for myself, you know, like alleviate some of the pressure that you're feeling and stuff, and like zone back into like who you are. And like, I don't know, why do you think you had the serious doubt?
Oh, why did I have the serious doubt? I guess because there's a lot of different areas in my life and everyone's life, right? So I was achieving success in certain areas, and whenever I achieve success, I want to achieve more and more and more. So I was focusing on those areas. But then I come around full circle now in a week, and I haven't been really focusing on my podcast. I've been focusing on my money situation. I've been focusing on my friendships, my, I don't know, like relationships, whatever, a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm like, all right, I'm making progress here. Then I look at my podcast. I look at like my mindset when it comes to my purpose. Like, what I really want to focus on, no matter, like, you put everything on the table. The one thing I want to focus on is like my purpose. And I spent the least amount of time on that this week. And I felt like, so after everything I did I really do anything?
But did you spend the least amount of time on it? Or were you doing like, were you thinking about it? Were you building concepts? Or like, were you thinking about ideas?
I'm always thinking about it.
Yeah, then I don't think that you didn't do anything, you know? Like, if anything, it's new insight. Like, if you continued thinking about it, the only thing is like, you have to show up and you have to do the pod, you know? Like, that's a, like, I think in this path, it doesn't matter like what happens, but like the one thing you got to be consistent with, right, is like doing the podcast. It's kind of like, you know, how I deal with the doubts and stuff. It's like, I know I got to get myself to the gym, because I can like kind of like, once I'm done there, I feel very relaxed. And then obviously it has its payoffs and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, there's the routine is important. You could let yourself go, like when you're talking about doubting, like same, but it's like even if I tell myself I'm gonna quit, you know, the pressure and stuff of like whatever I'm trying to do. I feel like this is not a one-off game, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a thing for like self-worth and stuff, you know. For me, like, I feel like for myself, maybe it's not the healthiest thing, but I need to earn my self-worth. And sometimes I put my expectations as unrealistic, but I have the awareness of that and I don't care. That's how I want it to be, you know? Like, Stanley, another person who's around here sometimes, he was saying, like, last week he was telling me, like, when Arnold, right? I don't want to say his last name. I don't want to fuck it up. Like, Arnold.
Oh, you're talking about Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, go.
I don't want to say it wrong, bro. I don't want.
Who cares?
Yeah, shit's caught. But when he was, you know, I forgot which country he's from and stuff, but he was talking about how, like, almost like delusion was part of it. Like, he already pictured himself where he needed to be before he got there. But that's like how else are you going to lift yourself up out of your environment to move to the next place that you need to be or continue growing, you know? You just got to make sure you, like, at the end of it, your priorities got to be right, but like, you still have to be able to think about where you need to be and the milestones you need to hit, you know? And that's the hardest part about, for me personally, that's the hardest part is like staying in that place. Cause sometimes I get hyper realistic and stuff cause it's easier. It's like, I'm like, if I get hyper realistic, it's like, you know, I'm already not like, I feel like what I need for life, if I wanted to, I can make it very simple. Maybe I wouldn't be happy.
It's easier to think low of yourself.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be happy, but the pressure wouldn't be there, and I'd probably like feel more relaxed. You know, my self-worth would probably be shit, but like the pressure wouldn't be there. And sometimes the pressure is just heavy, but it's like, I don't know, it comes at a cost. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying. I feel like this is inner deep workings of the brain. You know, like,
you said something about expectations.
Yeah.
And not having expectations or like not putting these unrealistic expectations on yourself. So I actually have like this weird story.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, me and my dad, we used to watch movies like every week. Like that was our thing.
Yeah. What type of movies did you guys watch?
We're watching everything. Watching movies at home, watching movies in the theater, 3D movies, kids movies, adult movies, thrillers, all types of, bro.
Yeah.
But mainly thrillers, psychology, that type of stuff. Action movies too, for sure.
Do you have like a favorite?
I'm getting to that right now. What happened was, we watched movies, and we talked back and we're like, yo, what movies stood out to us? Like, what movies do we have that feeling for? Like, you know, like what were the greatest moments we had together when it came to watching movies? And me and him will always name the same 2-3 specific movies together.
Wow.
I have one-offs, he has one-offs, but there's 2 movies in particular that we both name every single time out of the hundreds of movies we've seen together. And both those movies had to do with expectations. So what happened was one day my dad was like, yo, you want to go see a movie? I'm like, okay, cool. I'm thinking he knows what movies we're going to see. And he's like, yo, to be honest, there's a movie, 10 Cloverfield Lane. My friend said it's good. I have no idea what it's about. I have no clue what it's about. I'm like, 10 Cloverfield Lane. That's a street name. I'm like, bro, what? He's like, you want to watch it? I'm like, sure. I don't really care. Who cares? It's a movie.
It's a horror
movie theater,
movie, right? Like super scary.
So then we go inside the theater, and we're blown away. Like, we had so much fun watching that movie. That was the first time I ever seen my dad like get scared in the theater, like while watching a movie, like jump scares and all that. And we always remember that moment. And then there was another movie where it was the second My Hero movie. Because all I heard was like, if you're a Bakugo fan, you need to see this movie. I didn't know nothing about it. He didn't even know there was a movie out. I'm like, yo, go to the movie theater. Let's watch this movie. He's like, out of nowhere, we went there. Man was crying in the theater. But I'm like, what made those movies stand out compared to all the other movies we've seen, and it was expectations. We had no expectations for these movies. We knew nothing about it. We didn't see no trailers.
Wow.
We didn't like think this movie was gonna be better than these movies. We didn't have no movies to compare it to. All we knew was we're gonna go see a movie, and we just enjoyed what it gave us. We didn't care about
Just the
ratings,
experience.
nothing. It was just the
Yeah.
experience. We were just
Yeah.
living in the moment, and that's what made it peak. Better than movies that were technically better. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We were just living in the moment. So that's what it is. So there's two things. You were saying that you need to believe you are that person now. You said that last week about Kanye West. He
Yeah.
knew who he was
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
before he was who he was. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sometimes you just know deep down. It's like you gotta trust it. But like at the same time, this is where the doubt kicks in, because it's like I don't want to be seen as insane. You know how last week you were saying like your thoughts are very, like, or you were explaining your goals and they're very abstract.
Yeah.
And I was kind of explaining mine, similar along the lines, very abstract and stuff, right? Why do you think that is? Like, is that because you don't have your goal yet? Like, how are you gonna, how you gotta set your goals or write them down or something, right? Then you can believe where you need to be, or otherwise the image of what you need to be, is always gonna be hazy and shifting left and right and stuff,
It's funny how you say that. Me and my friends, Sunday night, we're talking about, after church, we're talking about indecision and like you having your set plan and you're working hard, right? But a lot of that has to do with mental work and things that people don't really see, building a foundation that people don't see, like kind of under the ground. So people look at you and say, yo, you're not growing. But it's like, yo, you don't see all the work I'm putting in. And it's like, how do you guys not get frustrated or kind of veer off track when people like that come into your life? And one of my friends was like, you need to have a tangible vision. Without a tangible vision, you can't like work in this world. Like you need to have something that you know is like real.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're kind of saying. Like abstract is having an abstract vision or an abstract goal is leading to like
it's gonna lead to issues, especially when it comes to like where you need to be and where you need to go and the doubts and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't even like that was feedback I got from my girl.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
she listened to it and she gave you feedback. That's hard.
I feel like for her, she's low key, like she could look deeper in my brain and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it was funny that she was like, be more precise, like have your stand up with your chest out.
Stand on it. Yo, what's wrong with her? Yo, she's tweaking.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But I don't know. It makes perfect sense though, because it's like that. It made sense because I know that's like even like deep down, I know this is a sore spot for me in the sense that there's things I want to be and there's things I want to be able to say I am, right? But if I say them out loud, it's like a comedian bombing or something. You could say a joke, falls flat. But you just have to. It's habits. You just have to be able to do it. Say it. Like and do it over and over. Like it's not about numbing yourself or anything, but it's really about just creating that world where you create the avenues. Like even when it comes to networking and stuff, right? Like you never know when you need your skills. And like I've been in situations a handful of times where I ran into interesting people, like really interesting people who have like cool, like mostly in the music world and stuff, right? Like they have cool like accolades and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Even like James, like I'm not gonna lie, like I was intimidated by him for like a minute, like probably still am, but it's just more like there's no like less intimidation and stuff now, but like
that makes a lot of sense, bro.
Yeah, like it's like in situations where somebody says like, can you do this, can you do that, or like just being confident in yourself, right? Like it's the reason, if you're able to say it out loud and like believe it, when somebody asks you, you don't have the hesitation like, yeah, I kind of know how to do this, like I know a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's like, no, you just say like, yeah, I can do this, this is my skill set, like this, like I don't know what I'm getting at.
Wait.
It's just believing it, being ready for the opportunity.
Are you talking about the way he talks,
James?
or are you talking about yourself in general?
I'm talking about myself, but if
Okay,
you're talking
okay.
about James, he's
No.
done that at the
Yeah,
start.
he's done that.
Yeah,
He's done that.
He
I
told me
remember
that,
when
yeah.
you guys were talking about applying for that what's it, like, worksman shop or that what were you guys applying for to the studio?
I don't know if James was. I
He
did.
was,
Okay.
but like you were applying. It's like you have to like say your skills and all that.
Yeah.
And I remember like the way he talks about it, the way you have to present yourself. That's
Yeah.
the way he talks. Like you have to just. One thing that James says is, when meeting strangers, like it's the perfect opportunity because they don't know who you are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you got to present yourself. Like even if you don't think, you can make them think that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's something you have to remember is like, they don't know all your deep inner workings and your insecurities and your doubts. So you can portray yourself as someone bigger than you are, and eventually, like, you know, fake it till you make it. Act like you'll
Yeah.
eventually just become that person that
Yeah.
you preach. You know what I'm saying?
That's great that you said that, and that like that made me sad for myself, because like for a lot of my life, especially even now, like it's in a different way, but it's like the doubt, like the things that I define myself by are always my biggest shortcomings, you know? And it's like it's hard for me to be like, I've done this, you know, because it just doesn't bring the reward. Like I need to fix the shortcomings for the reward, you know? But in a weird way, it's good. Like I'm sure eventually it'll get me where I need to be, you know? Like, but it's like, it's that thing where you just keep doing it, and you stay, like, if somebody asks you, right, are you going to tell them, like, I'm a podcaster?
I'm a podcaster.
Can you say that? Because you know how to have
I
a
have a
conversation.
podcast. Oh, bro, I've had enough conversations with people
Yeah.
lately. Like, even when you said, like, have you worked on the podcast even without posting? Like,
Yeah.
I promoted it a lot. Like, I even talk to
Mhm.
certain people I meet outside, and I tell them I have a podcast. I've told a couple of my family members, more of them. I've told everyone I live with over my apartment. Like,
Yeah. Does that make you scared to be on the mic? Because you're like, oh, fuck, people are listening.
hell no.
No?
Hell no. But saying I'm a podcaster, I don't know about that still.
Why?
I definitely tell people I have a podcast.
Why?
It sounds
I'm just curious.
too fixed, like too. It doesn't give me room to wiggle. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds too like, boom. This is what it is. Like I
Yeah.
don't like being trapped.
Okay, fair.
You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but it could be a label for a part of what you do, you know? It's not 100% of you, you know?
Yeah.
But essentially, you know, you can have conversations that are good, and you can make stuff by yourself that's good. That's the bread and butter of podcasting, you know? Like that's 80%. The 20% is like, you know, like your stylistic touches in your brand and like whatever resonates with you and stuff, you know, like if you want an intro, if you want to cut stuff off, the amount of time, your posting schedule, all that stuff. But like it's important too, but I just think like when it comes to the podcasting side of it, like you can say maybe not you. I get it that you don't want to define yourself by that and stuff, right? But like
No, I should start saying it. The reason why it creates a little bit of fear, it means I should be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
okay,
like
yeah.
where your darkest fears, like that's your direction you're supposed to go in. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like,
yeah.
I am gonna start saying that from now on. Oh, trust me, I listen to you when you talk.
No, because when I have doubts and stuff, right, you're always like, yo, what the fuck? You
Oh
can't be
yeah, for
thinking like
sure,
that.
because it's so
But
easy,
then you
bro.
have the doubts.
No, it's so
and
easy.
And then I'm just like, yeah.
Me and my cousin Jaden talk about this all the time, bro.
Yeah.
If we get a next person, bro, you know how to guide them to success because you think about it all the time. Like, there's so much that like we have to deal with within ourselves in order to make us move. But I can make you move to the top. I can get you to the top, bro, easily. Just listen to me, bro. You're heading to the top. I swear to you.
Yeah.
But it's like this is actually coincides with my favorite scene in Rocky. You know the movie Rocky?
Yeah, I know it, but
You didn't watch it?
I've seen like half of it, and it was like probably like what, like 15 years ago, maybe more.
Yeah, soft. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But
I seen Creed.
I seen the first. So I only seen the first Rocky. I didn't see no Creed. None of the
Yeah.
rest of Rocky. But the first Rocky movie, there's this girl. There's like this little 12-year-old girl, whatever, and she's just in the cut, like in the scene, whatever, in the city, and he's always like watching over like his like little daughter on, but like not his daughter though, you know, it's just this little girl that he like looks over, and he sees that she's growing up and she's falling into the wrong crowd and she's getting into like older ages, like 13, whatever, 14.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, don't hang out with those people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you know Rocky, like he's a bum. You know what I'm saying? Like he does fixed fights and he loses on purpose. He's like living in this apartment, this beat up apartment, like no girl, no nothing. And then she's just like, yo, who are you talking to? You know what I'm saying? He's like, bro, like I know better. Like I'm an adult. Like don't hang out with those people. And she's like, bro, who are you to be saying that? Like I'm looking at you and I'm not seeing nothing. So you have nothing to stand on to tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't respect you. And she just goes off and goes smokes with her friends, whatever. And he's like, damn, you have to go home and look in the mirror. Like, who am I for real?
Yeah, that's a cool analogy for.
So I was saying that because I could tell someone how to do what it takes to succeed, but it's like if I can't do it myself, I actually have no right to believe in. To like, if that person chooses to not listen to me or to not take those steps, I need to look at myself and not them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this might get a bit like non-scientific and stuff, but I think like when it comes to growth and stuff, right? It's like you can't go to fucking, I don't know, somebody who's like already very accomplished and stuff, right? And tell them stuff, you know? It's like you got to catch the waves as they come, you know? Like it, because you grow together with the wave that you catch, you know? Like I would say like we kind of line up in terms of like, I guess like doubts and stuff and like just being like there's a goal and stuff like that, right?
This was not forced at all. So it was very natural.
It's a wave.
The way it came in, it was a wave.
Yeah,
for
so you
sure.
gotta ride the wave.
For sure.
You can ride these waves up wherever you need to go. Like it's like
you're rapping like you're an artist or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, there we go. I'm an artist, but like music, you know, kind of trap. But I like to think that I think and live like an artist. Like I don't even know how to explain it. That's just my philosophy on life is based off of my own exploring my inner self.
Yeah.
Creating things and then seeing what it teaches me, and that's how I live my life. Like it makes me better as a person, I think. So
that wave one was tough though. That wave one was very, very, very tough, I promise you. Were you done with that? Like did you have more?
No,
or what?
I listened back to like last week and stuff, and it's like sometimes I can't understand what I'm saying, and I'm the one who said it, and I'm just like I gotta like be more precise and like not doubt what's coming to my brain and just say it, you know.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, because I told you this. The first one we did especially, there was so much gems that you dropped. There was like, you were talking like far beyond. Like people actually listen to what you're saying, change their lives. But me, when I was listening to you talk sometimes, I'm like, bro, what is this guy saying right now? I'm like, yo, like sometimes you just, I don't know, man. And I kind of put it together to create the conversation, right? But to get the whole thing, you have to listen to it back. I can't. Sometimes it's a lot. But you're getting better though. That wave one, you created an imagery. I think that's one of the first times you did that. Like that, you created an image that I could follow. Very vivid, very plain, simple, to the point, and it hit perfect. So that's a good job. That was nice.
Thank you. I gotta work on that. I think that will even make writing and stuff easier. You know.
Yeah.
Like just being more precise. I mean, it's the same way, bro. Like I've listened back. I listened back the first one and the second one. I listened to the first one like twice, 3 times. Like
I listened to the first one at least 6 or 7 times.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So the first time, I don't know. You could tell me how you experienced one, but the first time I listened to it, I could only kind of hear myself because it's just that ego thing, you know. It's like, I'm like, what the fuck did I say?
Yeah.
The second time, I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And like the third time I listened to it, I'm like, this is a conversation.
Facts.
You know. Yeah.
That's exactly what went down with me. I'm like, oh, you were talking. Like you were talking. I'm like, hold on, bro. I'm just listening for me. And I'm like, well, I'm actually pretty quiet this podcast. And then I'm like, wait, now you're saying something for real. I'm like, oh, this is actually a really good connection, a really good vibe going on. I'm like, all right, you know what? This was cool still. I don't want to do this because, you know, I love bringing up anime. But I put one of my cousins on. His name's Darren. And he was like telling me which podcasts were his favorites. He's like, he really liked Juggernaut and Surfboard, but he said his favorite one was Blind Identity because he likes that I always use like anime references. So what he said was, the way he pictured it, it was like before Naruto became who he was, before Rock Lee became who he was, if they were like kids talking about like what their dreams wanted to be and who they were going to become, if they just had a conversation, that's what it felt like. Two dreamers before they became
that's crazy.
The
That's
huge
so,
person that they're destined to be, like in their beginning stages, like talking about
Yeah.
what they're going to become and like the trials they face and how they're similar but different in certain ways. He's like, it was great still.
No,
Yeah.
Respect. Like
Yeah.
that's so cool because like in a realistic world, this is gonna sound crazy. In a realistic world, it's true because the intention is there, the idea is there, there's movement. It could happen, you know? And like listening back to this, maybe like in a year or two, whatever, right? It could be the trippiest shit on the planet, bro. Like
For sure.
like it could generally be, you could be going, what the fuck? Like I don't know. I would be sketched the fuck out. I'd be like, yo, there's some like divine intervention or some shit, you know?
Bro, you said waves, bro. That's divine intervention.
Yeah,
Right? That
it
is
is.
divinity
It is.
right there,
It
bro.
is.
Like,
Yeah. Why is it seen as insane if people are like sometimes like spiritually you can tune into something, you know? And like I've had moments like where like I'll have like 3 days where I'm feeling like there's some fucking like insane spiritual energy like running through me, and I like it feels like it washes me out, you know? It washes me, like I feel refreshed, I feel lighter.
okay.
It feels like it saves me in ways and stuff, like, but the biggest thing is it's like it always feels like, I don't know, it just feels like I could look at life in those times like with a very relaxed lens. Like it's like there's no worries, and I like it reminds me I'm on the right path. Like I don't know, is that mental illness? You know, like
That's definitely not mental illness, but the thing is, I don't really like. I like how you're zooming in on that aspect of it. I kind of, when it comes to that specific thing you're talking about, I think about the aspect of like when it goes away, like when I'm around people and like their energy kind of interferes with me, and it like it dims me down to like a level, because if you're
that gets you depressed, right?
Yes, bro, and like
okay, what is that? Is that building up your energy? Like what the fuck is that? You know?
Bro, there was this sermon I heard, right? And the guy was saying, the pastor, he was like, when you're called to fulfill God's purpose, he's going to give you gifts in order to help you achieve that goal. So if you don't realize the type of timing you're on, you're not going to understand what's going on because it's meant for a greater purpose. So what he was saying was that when you enter an atmosphere and you know who you are and you know like your vision and everything and you're set, but then you go around certain people and you feel like anxious or like unstable or unsure about yourself, that's not you, that's the people around you, because God gave you the ability to feel what everyone else is feeling so you can appropriately deal with them to help them out. Like how are you supposed to help someone out if you don't know exactly what they're going through? So maybe you're given that gift of knowing what other people are going through so you can help them, so you can be the one to pull them out of that. But if you don't know what you're called to be, then you'll just sink in with them, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be strong enough to stand on your own, like realize that this isn't you, and to be able to move while feeling like not yourself. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, it's a long story short. I feel like what you experience means that you're called for more. Means that you know you're meant for something. Yeah,
and I think everyone's called for something. It's just you gotta be tuned in. And this sounds crazy.
I say that all the time. You know? Everyone's chosen.
Yeah. Do you feel sometimes like 2 weeks could feel like a year, but like a couple months could feel like, you know, a couple days, like just depending on your
what
mind
month
state?
are we in right now?
March.
This year's already done. What year are we in? 2024, and it's already done already. Like we're halfway. Like what? When?
Yo, that scares the fuck out of me. We're not even close to halfway.
Bro,
Don't even
when
say that.
did? Bro, it's March.
Yeah, that's the trippy part. Yeah.
Already? 2 whole months gone in an instant.
Yeah.
It makes you think like yo, imagine you spend like a whole year grinding. Fam, that's not even long, you know? That's not even long. And you think like, yo, I have so many years, bro. That time is not, there's not a lot of time for real.
No, and if you're the type of person who tells themselves like you have a lot of time, you can do it tomorrow, you're never going to do it. You're stuck. You might do it, but it's going to be so much more painful than just doing it in the first place. And this is just, I learned this shit literally like from school, you know. It's like not doing my work on time and stuff. It's like the amount of stress and the amount of all-nighters and stuff, and how much of a hit my grades took and stuff. Like literally when I could have just scheduled and got there. I think it's the same thing with the music thing. It's probably it's a procrastination habits I never beat. Like it's like sometimes you just gotta, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
That goes, no. That goes with the abstract. My friend was saying that indecision and procrastination are linked.
Yeah.
So, and then we were saying that the abstract, or your girl was saying that the abstract vision that we have is linked to our indecision, is linked to our procrastination. It has to do with the fact that we don't exactly know where we're going, that we're not able to stand on the path that we're on, that we're supposed to walk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just means that you have to get right. Like, what are you doing? What are you meant to do? And focus on that. Because if you don't know, then all of that's going to happen. The procrastination, the anxiety, the doubt, and all of that. And then you just go circling in your mind all the way down. So it's like, we just got to stand on what we're meant to do.
Yeah. And like, what's the alternative? Like, be realistic. Like, I think an alternative could be a temporary relief. But like, you really think like if you're on your deathbed and stuff, you're going to look back at that moment with being proud of yourself, you know? It might be one of your biggest regrets. Like where could it have gone? Like what could have I done, you know?
Regret is gonna be crazy, bro. And they said it too, bro. Fam, everyone says it.
Yeah.
Like, you never regret the things that you did. It's the things that you didn't do. You could do a bunch of dumb, foolish, weird stuff, bro. You never regret those. Like, you maybe, but like the main things you think about, I could have done.
Yeah.
I could have done.
Yeah.
And we're in our 20s. Imagine like 50s, 60s. I could have done. I could have been. Imagine you had this thought in your head of being a specific person, and you see someone become that. Not only just someone, but someone within like your city, your group, your
you just
circle,
know it. You're like, that could have been me. Yeah.
That'll eat you up till you die, bro.
Yeah, and it's like you have nothing to blame except for yourself.
Man.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what cards you're dealt, where you are in life and stuff. It's like within reason, obviously, but like if you know you could do something and you don't do it, right? You can never blame anybody else. You can't be like, yo, I didn't have the equipment, or you know, somebody told me I couldn't do it, or like, you know, you can't. You just gotta do it. And this is something that's very personal to me, because like I feel like adversity wise, like my life is like, it's never been one with like an easy way to do things. I've always had to fight people and say like, no, I could do this, I could do that and stuff. And it's like, even it exists on every level. Like, I don't want to get too deep into it and stuff, but like there's just so much fuck shit. Like, it's like, I could have been in a psych ward or some shit, you know? Like, I could have been wrapped, game over many years ago. But it's like, I don't know. I knew how to pull myself out, and I knew that there's things out there that are meant for me. And maybe that's what makes me so passionate. Like, secretly, there's still that kid in me, you know? Like, who's still pushing through and stuff.
Never undermine your struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Remember when I told you that I believe that when I growing up, I always believed that others around me like struggled more than me, that went through way more than me, right? But people don't understand, like, those same people that will kind of like judge you or make you feel a certain type of way. They don't know about, like, how you said sometimes it's like do or die to just go get food. That's linked to so many other struggles and problems. Like, that is struggle. That is like hardship. Like, analysis paralysis. Like, dog, those things where people don't know. It's like the way our mind thinks, the way our mind doesn't think in like an orderly fashion. It's
No.
very sporadic, very all over the place.
Yeah.
So very, very simple tasks
Yeah.
like brushing your teeth or like getting food, showering could feel like hell. Just
Yeah.
getting out of bed could feel like you have to just
Yeah.
go all out just to
Yeah.
get up. Like,
Bro,
it's
and that's called
crazy.
that's I mean, in a clinical sense, like that's diagnosed as depression, you know, and stuff.
I heard
I-
it was linked to ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD causes
Yeah,
depression and stuff.
it's all linked, bro.
It's
Everything's
all linked,
It's all
but yeah,
linked, fam.
things
It's all
could
linked. It's all
shit could get rough, but at the same time, it's like this is gonna make me sound arrogant, but when it comes to mental illness and stuff, I think for myself, most things could be worked through. Like I
feel like it made us who we are.
yeah, and
Feel
like
like going through those struggles made us way stronger mentally, made us way like able to take on a lot more mental fatigue than other people. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and like even if you feel like we had this conversation on the very first pod, like proving that you've been in pain and stuff, like and like people like
Talk about it.
on society,
Yeah, yeah.
like on a societal level, like the way that we see pain is very measured and like very precise and stuff,
Yeah.
right? There's how does a personal story impact things? It's like we're kind of going in a circle in the sense that
Full
that's
circle.
when you're being like yourself right now, you know, you're
Yeah.
being authentic and you're saying stuff where it's like getting out of bed, like, well, all that stuff is like, it's like that shit that you've been through and you wouldn't never, it's not something like you share with anybody ever, you know? And it's like, you might be dealing with it for years on end and stuff and nobody has a clue, you know? And like that stuff, that's a struggle. And it's like, it's, I mean, maybe people do recognize in the sense that people could be like, oh, it's depression or something, but like struggle is just struggle is a real abstract concept, you know, like what constitutes struggle. Because like the most fucked up shit I've been through, the things that like I can never share or I feel like I can never share, like they make me cry and stuff, right? Those could take a back burner to sometimes when I literally going out to the store to get fucking food or some shit, you know? It's like I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about like, oh fuck, like how the fuck do I get myself up and out, you know?
Yeah.
And like even when I'm out, I'm not in my element. I'm feeling like so like janky and like messed up and shit and like,
Bro, people don't even know. Even well, this is our fault, but like sometimes it's super exhausting not being who you are around people. You know what I'm saying? Having to act a certain way or put up a facade, like
yeah.
that could drain you too. Drain
a huge drain.
Drain you.
Is that a drain for you?
My goodness
Yeah.
gracious, bro.
Yeah. What does that make you do? Do you like self-isolate or like do you disappear into your own world or?
Like I really just be thinking like I don't care about no one, bro. I just want to just be by myself, and like if I have to be around you, I'm gonna make sure that I try to keep you in the best state. 'Cause I don't want you feeling any type of way, 'cause the way you feel is gonna be the way I feel, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I gotta make sure that you're.
That
yeah.
you know earlier when you were talking about like you're in a room, you could kind of feel how everybody feels and
Yeah.
stuff. You have like a sensitivity to that thing, and it's gonna impact you a lot. But at the same time, it gives you the power to build the energy that you need to think the way that you need to do and
Yeah.
to have the courage to go where you need to go and stuff, you know?
It's kind of the way we connected. I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like I felt the type of timing you were on. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mhm.
once you.
I saw you here one time and you're like, I thought you were a random dude off the street.
Bro, I thought you were a completely random person. I don't
Yeah.
know who you were. You were talking to Stanley, yeah.
Yeah.
Stanley, that guy, he knows what's up, right? But like,
yeah.
I seen you and the way you were just kind of standoffish. Like it's like you weren't really trying to make friends too. Like the way you're on, and I was just like, cool, it doesn't really matter.
Really?
But then when I see you the next
Wow.
time,
That's crazy.
and like you kind of focused in,
Mhm.
and then we talked, and I'm like, all right, I could sense. You could just tell the type of person someone is. Like I could tell you're into that mental and
Yeah.
the
You
philosophical.
know what that is when you say standoffish and stuff?
Yeah.
I feel like when I meet anybody, it's like my first. I have to be confident, and I like when we're talking about, I'm always talking about self-doubt this, self-doubt that, but I do know I have to be confident in the sense that what type of image do you give somebody if you meet somebody and like you're like shy, awkward, timid, and stuff. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like it's like this is like a shell for me. It's like that's like my Superman fucking outfit. You know, it's like nobody needs to know. I could be confident. Like I could laugh. We could smile, whatever, have some jokes and stuff,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, you're right. It takes like couple minutes of me talking before somebody knows like, oh, like he's like this. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but I have
yeah.
that shell. I have that thin layer where I'm just like, I didn't know it's standoffish, which I mean makes sense, but like it's just me faking the confidence, you know, like literally just fucking.
Because I'm a weirdo and I like to
Yeah.
like overanalyze everything, right? Because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Once someone shows me something, like a video, a show, movie, like a game that they like, I can see their personality. I can see who they are through that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of if they're trying to hide it. So like for you, for example, once you show me that video, that no half lovers, it's over.
Yeah.
It's done. It's
Yeah.
done. I felt like I knew you from when you were born till now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just through that one video, I could tell the type of person you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah. I mean, we were sharing fucking poetry videos probably for like a half hour or something. We were just skipping through them and stuff. You shared yours as well. It was along very
It
similar
was,
lines.
I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
I know what it's about. I don't know what it's called though.
Yeah.
It was about just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what it takes. I don't care if you have to go to jail, if you have to be broke for years, if you have to go without food for a couple of days, just do it. Don't let it stop you. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what you go through trying to achieve it, it will be worse if you don't. You know what I'm saying? Just do
Yeah.
it. Just keep going. It doesn't matter how hard it is. Just keep going, bro. Like, yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. It's and like that's and the keep going idea is so simple, but it's so hard to
It's tough.
follow. Like literally. I mean, I don't know how like when you're saying like, yo, I might not be feeling the pod today and
Yeah.
stuff, you know? Like it's like imagine if
might.
I was on the same wavelength. We might have never done a
Bro,
pod like that,
yo.
you know? Like
I was kind of testing you in a way, bro. Like,
Really?
I was just like,
Wow.
dog, bro, I know how to lock in with others, which is like a bad thing because when it comes to other people, I'll give 100% no matter how I feel. But when it comes to me, bro, I'll give up on myself. You know what I'm saying? But I know if you lock in, I'll lock in with you.
Okay,
So I'm
yeah.
like, let me just put my faith in this guy, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah.
If we don't do it, screw it. I don't care. I'm going to keep going, I know, for this pod. But if
Mm-hmm.
he says yes, bro, I will do this pod. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I was like,
okay.
yeah, I
Respect.
leaned on you for a little bit, man.
yeah.
Good job, man. You locked in. You locked in for sure.
No, bro, I'm right now I don't know. I'm psycho levels of locked in.
That didn't sound no self-doubt, nothing. You said we're definitely doing it. You said we're definitely doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't even hesitate. No, if, and, I think, maybe. No, you said,
Yeah.
bro, it's going down tonight.
Yeah. No, like if my confidence was fucked up and stuff, I might have overthought it, and I'd be like, yo, he doesn't fuck with me like that.
Yeah.
Like, I should probably just like never do a pod again or something.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but
Oh, wait, if you didn't do it?
no,
You thought-
like no, if I was in like a low confidence state, right?
Okay.
That's would have been my. If you sent that text and I was like in my own self doubt,
Oh,
in my
okay.
just sitting in my own
yeah,
shit, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I've been like, oh fuck, like he just thinks I'm a weirdo. Like he's probably trying to just be like, yo, how do I get this?
Nah,
like,
there
not do
has
this,
to
you
be
know?
a level of respect at this
Yeah.
point. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That no matter what happens, like, there will always be respect. Because
Respect.
what we've done, because you know, people like us don't like to give credit for things that we've accomplished. But
Mhm.
what we've done is huge. Like, it's paved the way. It's planted the seed for something way bigger that we don't even know.
Yeah, that's
right now,
exactly
you know
what
I'm
it
saying?
is.
So,
And you just gotta show up. That's it. You gotta show up, keep thinking, keep growing. Like it's and this like finding somebody who shares like a similar mindset or a similar energy, like that's the wave you could build.
divinity, heaven
yeah.
sent, man. That way, those ways, bro. Trust
Yeah.
me. Gonna have to add that to surf for because that's hard, bro. That's hard.
Bro, you should write a poem about it, you know? Like take the analogies and brush it up into like some small poem or some shit. You should try it. I know you say like, yo, when I asked you like about the music stuff,
No,
you immediately
poet-
said no, but I think you
poetry.
could sit in. I think you could sit in.
I'm really interested in poetry.
Yeah.
I actually felt like my episode Truth was poetry a little bit with the mask and how like the cracking and how people are seeing.
Yeah, no,
me now and,
all of
like-
it is. I don't think you could say one episode. I think a lot of it because you're bouncing from concepts that exist in the real world
Yeah.
and then, you know, the invisible world. It's like a good blend of those two worlds produces the poetry, you know. It's just a different way of expressing it.
Yeah. I'll think about that for sure. But we've definitely hit the mark on waves a lot. I don't know what's with the ocean, but like we've definitely hit it.
Yeah.
I remember someone told me that if you're ever like confused or lost, you should look at nature or like the law of nature, because that's what God gave us to guide us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real. That's not tainted by man. Like the law, it's there in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not surprising that we talk about the ocean and stuff like that too. But
yeah,
I'll
go
think about
to
it though.
nature for inspiration and stuff. Do you feel like you could connect to nature sometimes, and sometimes you can't?
Connect to nature. All I know is when I'm in nature, I love it to death. You know what I'm saying? Like just the beach and the sand and just being alone, but you don't feel alone. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those ones where it's like, this is like it's, if you listen to it, you're listening in on a very, very, like, this would normally be like a conversation somebody would have, like, very in private, you know?
I felt like this was really good because it was kind of spontaneous.
Yeah.
For what it was, I've never, from the first podcast and the second one that we did, I never thought that it was good until I listened back to it. This one, I felt like it was good.
Really?
Because of the expectation, because I didn't have expectations of it. I didn't know what we were going to talk about, what we were going to do.
Yeah.
So me thinking of what just transpired, I'm like, yeah, this was pretty solid.
Yeah. Building off that, you said earlier, like, yo, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a pod, you know? You're going to do another one. So it's like, at the end of the day, even if, you know, even if the conversation had no natural flow, nothing, and it was like 12 minutes or something,
Posting it.
just keep going.
Live.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Just keep going.
That's how you mess yourself up, thinking you have to be perfect, like keep it up or like maintain this sense of perfection or be better and better and better. It's like, who cares, bro? Just keep going. Like at the end of the day, the culmination, the whole result will yield fruit. You know what I'm saying? And people will be able to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But to end it off, I wanted to wait for this. You know what I'm saying? But like, are the people getting the snippet?
Oh, the snippet. Yo, I'm gonna use a cheap cop out. Yeah, like I'll there's literally, okay. This is where I start getting jittery and start
No, bro.
jumping back and forth.
Lock in, bro.
Okay,
Let
no,
talk to me.
yeah. Snippet for sure. It's like, this is literally, when it comes to like mixed and stuff, I have so many tracks, but this is one that's like mixed up, pretty decent, pretty nice. Like it was done like I got the help of an engineer and stuff, and I don't know, it's a weird, I already showed it to you, but it's a weird track. It's personal, a little bit personal and stuff, but at the same time it's like, I don't know, I think it's cool. That was the first time where like I hit an aesthetic that I felt like, I was like, oh, like this one resonates.
Yeah,
you know, and like I've stuck to it since. I've made.
I'm
like
happy if you do the one I'm thinking about that you're gonna do. I'm like,
yeah.
Solid.
But it's only gonna be like 15, 20 seconds
matter,
because it's snippet.
They'll
you know?
hear what
and
they
then,
need to hear. Solid.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, 100%. And I was so. I'm actually like. I realize how weak I am, because the idea of sharing scares me, and not right now. This last week, like. When I didn't, like, when I did think about it, it scared me. I was like, oh fuck, and it like
that's good though.
Yeah, but it's like, bro,
that's what
I should have. This is like, I should have jumped. You know how like baby birds got to jump off the cliff and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have done this way longer.
But that's
ago.
good. No, bro, that's good though. You see what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
good that you're hitting this now. This is actually amazing, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. People don't see these steps. This is a huge step that people don't understand. Like, nah, you're building the groundworks right now.
Mm-hmm.
Post that snippet, bro.
Yeah.
It's gonna lead to much bigger things. You know what I'm saying? Remember the first time you made a podcast and how like nerve-wracking it was and scared, and now it's like you're becoming more and more comfortable. Once you get comfortable letting out music, do you know how much music you're gonna start letting out?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, yo,
Start
if
small.
I could do 1, I'm gonna be able to do 30 because it's like it takes the some sort of power from the other. Like it takes you get an agency in that situation. Like you get the priority. Like I don't have, especially if I know I'm decent. You know, like it's like if I don't believe I'm utter shit, I'm probably not utter shit. You know, because just a self-critical lens and stuff is. So okay, I'm done talking about that shit. You know, gotta put the snippet like in here somewhere. You know. And
You're gonna put it in this podcast.
Yeah, just link
All
it
right,
on the
cool,
end or
cool,
something.
cool,
Right?
Cool.
You mean like link it to your Spotify, or do you mean like cut the snippet?
No, I was thinking either you're gonna put it at the beginning
Yeah.
of the pod, at the end, or I didn't think that'd be weird. I don't know, but if you put it just like separate, like on its own, just out, but like nah, it doesn't make sense. It's only 20 seconds. So yeah, just put it at the end.
Yeah.
And then you might get lucky because a lot of people might not listen to the end if it's a long
No,
pod.
not lucky, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I need the fire, you know?
You might
Like,
get lucky. So if you really want it, you should put it at the beginning.
No, and makes sense. You know? No, it makes our conversation.
That's cool. No, that's cool though.
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
adds to it though. If they hear at the beginning, but then they hear what went into, it's like the lore behind that snippet. You know what I'm saying? At the end, I think at the beginning makes a lot more sense. Actually, personally, because they're gonna hear it, but then they're gonna hear us talk about like what came into that snippet happening. You know what I'm saying? During the podcast.
Okay. Whatever feels. You
But
get the creative direction. You get the creative direction.
Yes,
You know
cool.
what I mean? Okay.
Beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, beginning. What? Yes. All right, bro. But this was good though, for sure.
Right. Okay, here you can guess how much time we're at.
To be honest, we added, because we were about to like kind of stop, but then we added like a good like 8 minutes on it. So now I'll say 57.
Yeah, 56:25.
Wow.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it. Done.
Yes,
Bye.
sir.
Okay.